Let's go then. It's really, really nice to see you all on such an auspicious day as this one, International Girl Day. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you are in the world. Where I am, it's lunchtime in the afternoon. And wherever you are, I hope it's as lovely and beautiful as where I am. Sunshine and a lovely blue Atlantic Ocean. I hope I'm making you jealous. So hello from Lisbon, okay? It's really, really amazing that you are all here and gathered together. And of course, the person that motivates us and actually makes us give up our lunchtime to be here and talking to each other can only be one person. There's no secret in that. It has to be Virginia Rivera. She is kind of the glue that keeps us all together, that inspires, the energy that lifts us. And worse than that, she gets more beautiful and smarter every day. I actually really secretly hate her, but don't tell her. Okay, so Virginia Rivera is the chairperson of MAHILA UDHYAMI and co-founder of Mujer Emprende Latina. Okay, my Spanish is not very good, but I try.
You're doing great.
Okay, so Virginia is a global social entrepreneur and a visionary leader. Truly, truly. Dr. Rivera bridges continents through education, empowerment, and entrepreneurship. She stands as a symbol of possibility, true possibility for women and girls worldwide, because she doesn't just say it, she shows it, she proves it, she brings it to the table. She's leading MAHILA UDHYAMI's mission to build a world where every woman has tools, opportunities, and a voice to lead. And she's putting her money where her mouth is and leading a most amazing project, which we have all heard about, but I'm sure we'll hear more about it today. And nothing can stop her. So Virginia, say hello to us.
Hello, everyone. Wow. Thank you so much, Linda. I have to tell you guys that from my view, all of you here is probably one of my biggest dreams come true. You are truly the women that I admire, the women that I look up to. And whenever something is not working out, one of you always pops into my head to ask, what would she do in this situation? And I am definitely stealing this from my dearest friend, Maribel, because she says that. And the truth is that when you have women like you, giants like you, that's exactly what you think when something is not jiving, when something is not happening. I'm really thrilled to celebrate today the Girl Child's Day. And it's a little sad that we would have to celebrate a day and call it the Girl Child Day, because we know that still today in 2025, girls are still not allowed to live to their fullest potential in many, many areas in many, many countries. From classrooms to communities, girls are reshaping our world beyond anything that can happen to them. No matter what the struggle is, we see this every single day, proving that their education is just not a right, but a revolution. And why do I say this? Because education, we have seen again and again, it's the key, it's the pillar, and it's crucial to make sure that every single little girl in the world has access to quality education. As the current president of World Education Policy, our job is to evaluate educational policies all over the world. And we still have not found one country that really can say that 100% of all their little girls go to school. And this is even in those countries like the one that I live, where it's law. But there are many times that our girls, and I'm not talking about the ones that are 6, 7, and 8. I am talking about our girls that are 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, usually drop out of school in many places because they're needed. Their hands are needed. So we definitely have to continue to strive to make bridges, to create opportunities so they can also participate. Since 1995, nearly 91 million more girls have entered the classroom, and this is really good news. And women's enrollment in higher education has tripled, yet the journey continues. 133 million girls are still out of school. And many times we think they're in the far off countries that we don't even visit, that we don't even know. But the truth is that it can happen right in our backyard. Today, on the Day of the Girl, we renew our pledge, all of us, to break every barrier that stands between a girl and her dreams. Here at MAHILA UDHYAMI, I also represent World Education Policy and International Internship University. We echo UNESCO's mission to make every classroom a place of inclusion, safety, and possibility. Because when a girl learns, a community rises. And we also know here in Future She Leads that she's just not a student. She's just not a learner. She's a future leader. So thank you, every single one of you, for being here today. Thank you, Linda, for saying yes. And I want to say a little bit about Linda. Like I said before, any of you could have been my amazing host today because I truly admire you. But Linda is one of those people that will never say no unless physically it is not possible. Because she believes. You see it. You genuinely feel that she believes in you. It's just not saying yes because maybe later she'll do this for me, or she doesn't just say yes because, well, I have the time. She says yes because she believes. And I just love that on this side of history, she is sharing and walking alongside me. So Linda Pereira is an internationally acclaimed strategist, event industry pioneer, and an advocate for women's leadership and economic empowerment. As the CEO of CPL Events, she has built an award-winning legacy of excellence in global communication and diplomacy. Event management is her middle name. Definitely, we know that when we step into an event and we see how excellently it goes, we know that it's a Linda event. Working with world leaders, she works with corporations and international organizations to drive innovation and inclusivity. She's recognized as the most influential voices in her field. Linda has led landmark global events, from presidential summits to humanitarian initiatives, always championing the inclusion of women and youth in leadership spaces. Her work extends beyond events. She is a mentor, she's an educator, a global advocate, and one of my dearest friends. So thank you for saying yes, Linda. I am so happy to see you here, and I'm so thrilled that you are our host today.
Oh, it's my absolute pleasure. Thank you, Virginia. Thank you. I'm going to start straight away because some speakers are going to be leaving soon, but I just want to add one small note. Every woman who attains at least one of her dreams has no right to not then turn around and help other women to do it. It is the ultimate act of selfishness to not do it, okay? I do not respect people who do not believe, I am here, let me see who else I can bring with me. We cannot live comfortably in a world where women are still seen as second-class citizens, or led by bullies, or not given opportunities, or live in a world where only 4% of financing goes to women founders. It's unacceptable. It is unacceptable. And the only way we can change it is by using our voices and not going quietly. I will never go quietly. And please don't do it either, because I'll stand right behind you, okay? It is important that we use our reputations, our achievements, and our voices to be visible. This thing about, oh, women shouldn't show off is ridiculous. Let's show off, let's shout about what we've done and what we have achieved, and inspire young girls to do the same. So please join me in this fight, because it's way far from over. Believe me, it's a long way to go, okay? So I'm going to go right into it with our special guest, and then I'm going to call Ilyana and then Nancy, because I know they have flights to catch or commitments that they are just sitting here waiting because I'm... So Viola, my dear, Viola Edward, another walking inspiration. She is inspiration with legs, okay? So she's MAHILA UDHYAMI Advisory Board Director and President of the Mentor Association. So she's an internationally recognized psychotherapist, breakthrough mentor, and thought leader, okay, in emotional well-being and empowerment. You have so much connection with Ilyana, you should talk, okay? As president of the Mentor Association and the guiding force on the MAHILA UDHYAMI Advisory Board, she continues to shape global conversations on healing, mentorship, and female leadership. And we are so proud to even think that she considers us friends. Thank you, Viola. The floor is yours.
You're my hero. What do you mean you're my friend? You're my friend and my hero. Thank you so much for your beautiful word. Thank you, Virginia, for all what you did, and I'm with you all the way through and back. So let's take a deep breath from the nose.
Your voice is very low, I think.
Because I'm recovering from a flu. Is that better now? I'll make an effort. It's better?
Yeah.
Okay. Every woman carries within her a sacred rhythm, the rise and fall of her breath. It is the first sound of life, the invisible thread that connects her to her essence, and the constant reminder that she's still here, still capable, still powerful. But her power does not begin in womanhood. It begins in childhood. In those early moments of wonder, where curiosity meets courage and imagination whisper, what if? When a child learns to breathe through fear, to listen to the silence inside her, to speak her truth with kindness, and to move through the world with empathy, she begins to shape a different kind of future. Empowerment begins with awareness. When we teach girls that emotions are not enemies, but messengers, that their bodies are not burden, but sacred instruments, sacred temples, that their dreams are not too big, but beautifully possible, we raise a generation that lives with wholeness. Each inhale becomes a declaration, I'm worthy. Each exhale becomes a release, I choose peace. As she grows, breath becomes more than air. It becomes presence, it becomes art, it becomes intuition. She learned to breathe before she speaks. She learns to breathe before she speaks, to pause before she reacts, to see herself not through the world's mirror, but through her own light. The power in her breath awakens the power in her voice, and the power in her voice reshapes the world. Let us raise children who can feel deeply, think freely, and act wisely. Let us show them that strength is tenderness with direction, that leadership begins not in authority but in authenticity. Because when we nurture resilience, creativity, grit, and compassion, we unleash a kind of power that transforms everything. So today, let us breathe. For all the girls who are still discovering, for the women who are still remembering, and for the generation who will rise even stronger. Because when a woman breathes freely, she doesn't just fill her lungs. She doesn't just fill her lungs. She fills the world with possibilities, with compassion, and with light. Let's do it all together. Thank you so much for this space. Count on me. You girl, wherever you are in the world, you count on me.
Thank you, Viola. Always, always. We always feel just like we're floating after you've spoken. It's just amazing. Thank you so much, my darling. Okay, now, as I said, I'm going to change a bit of the order because I know Ileana has a commitment in about 5 minutes. So it's just, I promised Ileana before 2, so here we are. Ileana Medeiros is an amazing younger generation lady. She is on the executive board of the Business Confederation of Portuguese-speaking countries, which is about 250 million representation. She is an expert in health and wellness. She's an entrepreneur. She's doing her PhD, and she's the first person that you say, would you? And she goes, yes. What were you going to ask me? And that is the kind of woman I love. Before the answer is yes, before you've asked the question. And I know I'm very demanding of her friendship, but I think that she's capable of doing much more. So I'm going to demand much more. Ilyana, who is currently in the UK and is going to be living in the UK. So anyone in the UK, reach out to Ilyana. Ilyana, the floor is yours, my darling.
Thank you so much, Linda. Well, with that introduction, what can I say besides thank you so much? And it's such a pleasure to be here. And I'm super grateful to be surrounded with amazing people like all of you. So I really thought about this day and what did it mean for me? Because I'm also a mother of 2 girls. And I think it always starts at home. So I wrote a few lines that I want to share with you of my reflections. Today, on International Day of the Girl Child, we're not just marking a date, we're igniting a movement. Picture this, a 12-year-old girl in rural Angola dreaming of coding an app that helps her community adapt to climate change. Or a teenager in Lisbon scrolling through TikTok, silently carrying the same self-doubt her mother did 30 years ago. These are not just stories, they are portraits of a generation quietly fighting invisible chains. But let's ground this in reality because numbers speak loudest when they are, in a way, uncomfortable and they make us think. Girls age 15 and above are twice as likely to experience depression as boys. Their brains, more finely tuned to emotional and social context, absorb stress almost by design. And poverty, it follows them more persistently. According to UN data, girls born today face what experts call the girlhood poverty penalty, a disadvantage that can shape an entire lifetime before it even begins. Let's think about it. And here's the deeper truth. Girls don't just inherit their mother's stories, they inherited their stress, not metaphorically, but biologically. Neuroscience shows that prolonged maternal anxiety can alter a child's stress response before birth. It's a silent inheritance, but with loud consequences, passed not through words, but through neural wiring. And one of the top stressors for women today in our world, in our capitalist world and societies, financial pressure. Now, the timeline to change this, and really when I read this, I was like, oh my God, how can we continue this for this much longer? At the current rate, it will take 135 years to achieve economic parity between men and women. And that's not a forecast, it's a warning, really, from the World Economic Forum. 5 generations from today, before pay gaps close, before leadership truly reflects society, before girls can lead freely and apologetically. But there's hope, and it's powerful. We don't have to wait. Economic equality is not a distant ideal. It's the foundation for which every other form of justice stands. Because, let's be realistic, we are living in a capitalist world where money is king. From mental health to breaking the cycle of generational stress, economic equality and parity is key. The path forward begins early. Teach girls how their own brains work. Show them that neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, means stress can be transformed into strength through daily reflections, mindfulness, and intentional practice. Equip them with financial literacy. Bring digital skills boot camps into school. They are needed. Design public policies that fund girls' educations, not as charity, but as an economic strategy, because the data is clear. Targeted investment in girls could reduce female poverty by 2/3 by 2050, unlocking trillions in global growth. When we empower girls to understand their minds, manage their emotions, and master their choices, we're not just changing their future, we're changing the trajectory of nations, of our world. So this isn't a women's issue, as we so often hear. It's a human one. So here's my invitation to you today. Share one story of a girl who changed her odds. We need to celebrate ourselves more often. We usually do not celebrate enough our stories. And Google Trends is a great indicator. Most of these facts, especially around unequal pay, different pay gap, around the world, even in countries where women are the majority, we rarely go and see them. Our engagement is 5, 4%, 11, 13%. That cannot continue. Mentor one within your circle. We all have either daughters or nieces or cousins, friends that we can mentor. Advocate for one policy that can accelerate equality. Look, we live in a world where viral is king. If we all stand beside at least one policy advocacy and share within our groups, we can actually make a difference. Because we cannot wait, 135 years. It's already been too long. We are ready now. Let's make it happen in our lifetime, for us, for our girls, and for their girls. Thank you so much for your time and for listening.
Thank you, Eliana, and absolutely agree with you. Not on my watch. We are not waiting, not on my watch. We're going to be sitting in that front row and arguing back with the politicians. Absolutely. Thank you, Eliana. And now I'm going to pass the floor to Nancy, who is going to catch a flight any minute now. So Nancy Ordin-Allen is like, I met Nancy quite a few years ago, and after 5 minutes, we became lifelong friends. I fell in love with her in 5 minutes. Didn't take her long. I consider Nancy kind of the soft-voiced powerhouse. She speaks quietly, but boy, does she pack a punch. Okay, so this is really who she is. She works with We Connect International, which is a global institution, and they have done so much for connecting women in business across the globe. Nancy has dedicated her whole life to elevating women in businesses, to educating women, to accelerating businesses, to advising, to mentoring, to informing. She has 2 great books on Amazon, which is The Decision to Start Your Own Company and The Decision to Scale. And they are really good Bibles to follow. So I just love her. She's brilliant. You should all follow her. Thank you, Nancy. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much.
Someone should kind of silence that microphone. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. And the feeling is mutual, my friend. When we first met, I knew right away that God had put an angel in my path, and I did everything I could to stay along those same lines. So thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Virginia. I'm really excited to be here. And as I was preparing reflections for today, I remembered that as a teenager, my very favorite auntie taught me something that her favorite auntie had taught her many years before. And it is that if you know what you stand for, nothing can stand in your way. The things you stand for are your core values. Dreams are what you see for your future. Your core values are what you stand on while you get there. Your core values are the beliefs that will guide you throughout your life. My core values for, the past 30 years are connection, creativity, and courage. And here is how I live my core values, and they guide me on a daily basis. So I work with women business owners, as Linda had mentioned, and I connect them to business opportunities. We work with very large businesses, very small businesses, but in my world, we really believe that business ownership is a key to financial freedom. It's a key to community development and a key to dignity. I do creative thinking, and I remind myself to look at challenges in creative and innovative ways. And that is something that we should all do, right? Faced with a challenge, take a step back and think creatively. What if I did this? What if I did that? How could we meet this challenge? And then finally, I remind myself to be courageous and to try new things. So I get to travel around the world, and for the most part, I'm traveling by myself, going to some place to meet a team or to speak at a conference, to do some training. And, sometimes that takes a bit of courage to come out of your comfort zone. And I find that being courageous is a real a challenge as well as a blessing. So that's the great thing about core values. They help you dream big and they remind you what is important. So how do you determine your own core values? I'm going to share with you a simple trick, and that is to use the letters in the word core, C-O-R-E. So the C stands for choice. You get to choose who you want to be. You made the decision to attend this conference. Ask yourself why. Do you like to learn? Are you curious? Do you like to connect with and help others? Maybe one of those reasons is a core value of yours. The O stands for owning your actions. Are you kind? Are you generous? Are you consistent? When you let your values guide you, they will help you make decisions. The R in core stands for reflection and review. Your core values will change over time as you mature and you gain experience. It is very important to ask yourself, am I living what I believe? The E in core stands for expressing your values every day. How do you treat others? What do you say to yourself every day? And how big do you dream? I think about my core values every day. Actually, I have a practice that before I go to sleep, I count my blessings. What happened throughout my day that I am blessed, I'm thankful for. And I ask myself, did I make good connections today? Did I do something creative in action or in thought, in sharing? And finally, did I do something courageous today? The way you find your core values is you make a list of the things that are important to you. So take a piece of paper, you make a list. It can be 10 or 20 things. You can also think about someone you admire. What is it about them that you admire? Maybe some of those could be your core values and on your list. Then from that list, you're going to choose 3 or 4 things and write down why they are important. You want to remember that your core values are a reflection. They are a mirror. If respect is one of your core values, you must show respect and you must expect respect. If you're not respected in a relationship, you have a choice. Is this really a relationship that you want to continue? If trust is one of your core values, you must be trustworthy and look for that in others. Choose your friends wisely. Do they help you build your dreams? Do they remind you to be your best self? Thank you for letting me share what my favorite auntie shared with me. It has helped me throughout my life, and I hope it helps you too. One day you will be an auntie, and I hope that you will pass on those very important words. If you know what you stand for, nothing can stand in your way.
Oh, thank you, Nancy. Thank you.
I love that.
My grandmother too told me that you have to surround yourself with people who are on the same mission as you. Okay, that may mean you have to let go of some people on the way, because as you also told me very often, it's about anchors as well. You have to let go of the anchors, those who keep you in the same place. So thank you, Nancy. As always, you are an inspiration and I love you deeply. And everyone should follow her because she's, as I said, the soft-voiced punch. Okay? Thank you, Nancy. Thank you. Thank you. Now, our next person is someone whom I empathize with greatly professionally because we are on the same wavelength. So Maribel Hopgood, of course, is Chief Communications Officer and Marketing Officer for MAHILA UDHYAMI Foundation in Puerto Rico. In fact, we are from the same professional area, and she's also an inspirational lady, as is everyone here, because otherwise you would not be here, okay? We wouldn't want you here if you weren't. Okay, so Maribel Hopgood is a passionate advocate for storytelling that transforms. There is no other way to communicate today. As Chief Communications and Marketing Officer of MAHILA UDHYAMI Foundation, she uses her creative expertise to amplify the voices, to strengthen the communities, and to ensure that the stories of the women and the girls are seen, are heard, and are celebrated around the world. Because if we do not tell the stories or celebrate them, we will be invisible, okay? So thank you for all that you do, Maribel, and the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Linda. Can you hear me okay, everyone? It's a little bit loud where I am. And as you said, thank you so much. I'd like to share a little bit more about myself. I am Maribel Bruno, Hopgood Bruno, and I am a communication strategist, just like you, Linda, but I am also an award-winning journalist, and there's a reason why I like to bring this up. And it's an absolute honor to join you in this future She Leads Day of the Girls Summit. This gathering isn't just an event, it is a beacon of hope, a chorus of voices rising together on International Day of the Girl. Today, under the theme, Empower Her, Empower Humanity, we celebrate the brilliance, the resilience, and the untapped leadership of girls and young women everywhere. Thank you to our incredible host, Virgie, as well as you, Linda, and also to all my fellow changemakers for amplifying this message. When we empower her, we empower the world. As I stand here, technically sit here virtually, my heart is swollen with memories of my own journey. Picture this. A young girl from a small island that left the comfort of a modest home and loving family to go to a foreign environment, wide-eyed and full of dreams, but also full of doubt, in the form of fear and many insecurities, including not mastering the language, not knowing anyone. Who am I to lead? Who am I to innovate? To chase that career that many told me was impossible. Sounds familiar to anyone? That was me. And it is the story of so many brilliant young women I know of. And I mention that because many told me that becoming a journalist wasn't a choice for me, especially in a country that did not necessarily embrace who I was, embrace that I was a brown girl, embrace that English was my second language, that pretty much told me that I had to go to a smaller market to become who I wanted to be. However, I was in a major market for a news journalist, a broadcast news journalist, which was the city of Chicago. And I was able to find a way to accomplish that. And that's why I wanted to bring this up and what I wanted to share today. So today, I want to talk about the quiet revolution that can change everything. It certainly did it for me. And it is building self-confidence in our girls. Because self-confidence isn't a luxury. It's the unbreakable foundation for success in any career and any life path. It's the spark that turns potential into power, and it's what we must ignite right now. Let me be clear. Self-confidence is not about being fearless or perfect. It's about trusting your voice in a room full of louder voices. It is believing your ideas matter, even when the world says otherwise. Why does this matter so much? In a world that still questions women's ambitions, whether it's a boardroom in New York City, a startup in Mumbai, or a community project in Mexico City or any city in the world. Self-confidence is the armor that protects dreams from being shattered. Studies show that girls with strong self-confidence are 50% more likely to pursue STEM fields, negotiate higher salaries, and lead teams to victory. But without it, too many brilliant minds dim their lights, settle for less because they doubt their worth. Think of Malala Yousafzai, who at 15 faced imaginable adversity yet stood tall, her confidence a weapon for education worldwide. Or closer to home, think of the many entrepreneurs from Mujer Emprende Latina that have stepped into their path to financial independence. And think of the future entrepreneurs from MAHILA UDHYAMI who have the potential to turn village crafts into global brands. Don't think of them because they never failed, but because they believe in their resilience. These aren't superheroes. They are young women who learn to whisper to themselves, "I am enough," and then shouted it to the stars. Self-confidence ripples outward. A confident girl lifts her family, her community, and her nation. It breaks cycles of poverty, it shatters glass ceilings, and builds a more just humanity. As the summit reminds us today, when she leads, we all thrive. So how do we build this foundation? It's simpler and more urgent than we think. First, let's start with stories. Let's surround our girls with tales of women who stumble and soar. From Frida Kahlo's unapologetic art to Indra Nooyi's trailblazing in corporate America. Let's let them see reflections of their own strength, because representation is important. So let's highlight this. Let's talk about these women, and let's talk about all of our stories, and let's do it often. Second, let's practice the power of yet. Not I can't do this, but I can't do this yet. Encourage small wins, from a public speech, a bold question in class, a failed experiment reframed as a lesson. And third, let's foster safe spaces. Mentorship circles like those powered by our IIU and a lot of what all of you do, where girls can fail forward without judgment. And let's lift them. And to you parents listening today, teachers, allies, let's listen more than you advise. Let's validate their feelings. Let's celebrate their efforts. And let's remind her daily that your worth is not earned. Let me repeat that. Your worth is not earned. It is inherent. It is in you. You were born with it, and you are entitled to it. So young women watching us today, this is your call. That voice inside you saying you can lead, it's not a whisper. It's a roar waiting to be. So let's unleash it. Let's step into it. Let's say yes to that internship, that idea, that dream. That's what did it for me. It was an internship. It was what opened the door. It was me taking the risk in a city that didn't necessarily welcome me. But once I stepped into that opportunity, it opened the world to me. Your confidence isn't just for you. It's a gift to humanity. And for the mentors, the mothers, and the movements like ours here, let's commit today. Let's pledge one act of empowerment, each of us. A conversation, a resource, a cheer for a girl in your life. Thank you for this opportunity, and it's an honor to be with all of you today.
Thank you so much, Maribel. No one could have put it better than you. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so my next guest, Virginia, and my next guest, because I do not own the show.
It is yours.
I'm just walking through the show with you and enjoying it, is Maria Santiago. Maria, she's the Chief Sustainability Officer at MAHILA UDHYAMI Foundation and the UN Peace Ambassador, Puerto Rico, USA. Oh, wow. I have to just bow a little now. Okay, so Maria Santiago is a leader who unites sustainability and compassion, the best recipe. She's a proud Puerto Rican living in the USA. She serves as the Chief Sustainability Officer at MAHILA, as I've already said, and as a UN Peace Ambassador. And she works absolutely tirelessly for harmony between people, planet, and purpose, which a life and the mission that we should all have. Thank you very much for all you do. Maria, the floor is yours.
Thank you for this wonderful introduction. And again, I'm in the presence of greatness, and I cannot put my screen now, so my apologies. I'm very happy to see familiar faces as well, and how Virginia has gathered these amazing leaders that are impacting education and other industries globally. So my message is around, good morning, everyone. I want to speak about a truth that is more urgent and more hopeful than ever: the transformative importance of girls' education, mentorship, and accessibility to resources. When we invest in girls, we invest in our world's shared future, unlocking human potential that benefits everyone. Around the globe, 122 million girls remain out of school, which is a big issue, including 34 million of primary school age and 87 million of secondary school age. And we know that these girls go either into marriage arranged by their families, or immediately into the workforce, or into domestic life. Yet since 2015, 50 million more girls have entered classrooms, and 5 million more girls are completing each level of education. As Malala Yousafzai, Nobel laureate and a global symbol for girls' education, has said, She is one of those 60 million girls who are deprived of education. And today I am not raising my voice. Like Malala said, we are raising the voice of those 60 million girls. All of this in this space that we are here right now with this celebration of Girls Lead. Education for girls is not a charity, it's justice and a gateway to equality. Why does this matter? Because when girls are denied education, cycles of poverty, early marriage, and inequality persist. Girls that have no access to school are 3 times as likely to marry by age 18. And that continues the cycle of poverty, which reduces lifelong health and economic prospects for themselves and their families. Conversely, educated girls are healthier, marry later, have opportunities to explore and make different choices, and earn higher incomes for their families. So empowering a girl is empowering a family. And that family starts changing the community. But education alone is not enough. We need someone who believes in her, a mentor. Studies show that 86% of girls feel that they will be more confident with a mentor. And for those interested in fields like finance and STEM, that number is even higher. And that's where our numbers are lower as adults. So we need more of us as adults in those industries to mentor their coming girls. As a leader in girls' mentorship said, mentors enhance and amplify a solid education by encouraging girls to venture beyond their comfort zones and pursue ambitious goals. However, mentorship and education cannot change lives in isolation. No girl, no matter their determination, can succeed without access to safe schools, digital resources, health support, and spaces where her ideas are heard. So, in addition to what nonprofits and organizations like MAHILA are doing, and led by Dr. Virginia Rivera, we need also the infuse of industry and the private sector with money to fund these policies that we are planning to recommend, because policy without funding is just letters in a paper, because of changes need funding for staff, for accountability, for software, for resources, and so forth. When mentors and educational resources reach girls, promotion to leadership roles and retention skyrocket. One company saw a 40% increase in women promoted to senior roles. When we combine education, mentorship, and accessibility, we create a cycle of empowerment. So let's us commit ourselves as educators, leaders, and advocates. Thank you. And when one girl rises, the whole world rises with them.
Absolutely. Thank you, Maria. Very inspiring. Let's all rise together. Absolutely. Very inspiring. Sasha, my dear, I'm coming to you next. Sasha is in Australia. Wonderful lady. And she is the face of our youth. She's a youth leadership coach and motivational speaker. And whatever she says is really worth listening to. So for over 18 years, Sasha Kalluri has inspired thousands of young women across Australia. And as a speaker, author, and youth mentor, she dedicates her life to helping teenagers navigate today's challenges with confidence, purpose, and resilience. So in fact, she's leading the mission that we are all striving to bring visibility to today. So Sasha, over to you, my dear.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really, really blessed to be amongst these incredible women. So thank you so much. It's been an absolute blessing listening to the speakers before me. And, you know, it always makes you reflect on something about yourself. And one of the things that I was really wanting to discuss today was just about how we feel about ourselves and our own body image. And I think sometimes we don't talk about that enough, or we talk about that once we get a little bit more confident. But what actually happens is that our own body image and how the world portrays us with our body image, it actually stops us from doing things. And so what happens is so often the way that we feel about the outside of ourselves is actually making a big impact on how we are and what society says about who we are from the inside of ourselves. And there's nothing more real than that when you get to reflect on those aspects of yourself. And I always look back on my own life. And I look back and I think to myself, what are we giving the future? And I look back to, like, I'm 50 years old now, but I look back to who I was when I was in school. And, you know, there was pressure on wearing the right clothes or, having the right brand or something, or doing something, whatever the small amount. And the pressure it felt like it was big to me, but it was very small in comparison to what we have now. And realistically, in just my lifetime, from where we are now to what our expectations are on how we look as women, has really skyrocketed. Just making sure that we have the right, right clothing or this and that. Whereas now we have this expectation. Now we have this expectation that we have to, our names
Sorry, Sasha. Could you all make sure that your microphone is off? We're hearing voices in the background. So the ladies in the Grit Academy image, we can hear you, okay? Thank you. Sasha, apologies, continue.
That's okay. So we're all making sure that our nails have to be perfect, our hair has to be perfect, our skin color has to be perfect, whether it's too dark, too light, we're changing it here, we're doing this. Our skin has to be perfect, like we can't have any wrinkles, and there are young people that are getting Botox younger and younger and younger. It's like, and not just that, it's our families need to be perfect, the way that we're portraying our family, that we're looking like everything's perfect, and it's just like what we're looking at from where it's come in my own lifetime, from when I was a teenager to where it is now. So I'm looking at, what are we leaving the next generation of girls that are coming through? What are we making that for them? By us. And the only way that we can do this is by us reflecting on ourselves. And so what pressure are we putting on them to make them feel like they need to be perfect? Because very, very quickly, girls are knowing that they have to feel that they need to be perfect, and perfect on the outside in order to, and that's just before they're even starting to go to school or starting to have the right thing. And so I'm looking at that, and I can't help but reflect how often what we do to please people, and we do the smallest of things. And it's really interesting because I had my son, and he was 5 years old, and he was at school, and it was a very cold day, and he didn't want to wear his jumper. He didn't want to wear it, and he had a little girl in his class, and so they were getting changed into their clothes to do their PE, which is their physical education, and he wouldn't wear his jumper, and I was there trying to help him get changed. And I said to him, you have to wear your jumper, it's really, really cold. And he said, no, I don't want to wear my jumper, I don't want to wear my jumper. Anyway, there was a girl there that had a little bit of a crush on him. Now, you've got to remember, they're only 5 years old, okay? She had a little bit of a crush, and she said to me, excuse me, is he wearing his jumper? And I said, no, he's not wearing his jumper. And she said, but it's cold. And I said, I know, it's very silly, he needs to wear his jumper. She said this to me, if I don't wear my jumper, do you think he'll like me? And I said to her, I want you to wear your jumper. Doesn't matter if you like me or if you don't like me. And that was someone saying that about my son, who was 5 years old, another 5. So when these little scenarios come up, how often are we doing that? How often are we manipulating ourselves or changing ourselves in order for somebody else to like us, so that we fit into things perfectly or do things right, so that the exterior world will be pleased with us? And so I look at this and I think, what are we missing out on? How often do we say, I'm not going to swim in that pool because my bathers, my body isn't perfect enough, or I'm not going to go to that event because I don't have the right clothes, or I'm not going to do that. How often are we excluding ourselves because we don't have the right look, or when our life isn't perfect from what it seems on the outside? So I guess my reflection here is, what are we leaving? What are we as women now leaving for this next generation? Because I can tell you, it's so much pressure for me to be perfect. And I'm not perfect. My toenails aren't perfect. My hair isn't perfect. I don't have the perfect clothes. I don't have the perfect family. I don't have the perfect car. I don't have the perfect income. I don't have the perfect everything. So I don't want to portray that. So what is it that we can do so that we're not putting it forward to the next generation of young people to think that they have to be perfect? What can we do? How can we stop that by just letting them be themselves rather than thinking we have to be something extra? And that's the message I'd like to leave with today.
Great message, Sasha. And that's what this should be about, us questioning ourselves and understanding what we are doing and what we can do more to contribute. Absolutely. Thank you so much. You're always so wise. That's why I like listening to you. Thank you so much, Sasha. Okay, now our next voice is a younger generation voice. I'm going to call Anna Pimenta. Anna is a lawyer, very enthusiastic, very dynamic lady with great ambitions. She has a great sense of purpose. And from my perspective is that she truly represents the next generation of girls who think they have a right to do what they believe that they should do. And this is the kind of girl that we have to be giving visibility to so that the next generation can see themselves in this generation. So thank you, Anna, for joining us and interrupting. I'm not very good at taking no for an answer. So thank you, Anna, and welcome to our group of inspiring ladies. The floor is yours.
So good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ana Pimenta, like Linda Pereira said. I'm from Portugal, and I'm a lawyer, entrepreneur, and strategic business advisor. I work with leaders and executives to help them grow their organizations with structure, purpose, and vision. But more than that, I help them reconnect with what truly drives leadership, humanity, courage, and authenticity. It is an honor to be here at the day of the Girls Summit to speak about something that defines not only my career, but my mission, female leadership, and the future we are building together. When I first heard the theme, Future She Leads, the first thought that came to me was this: it's not just about managing the future. It's about starting to live it now. Through the decisions we make, the girls we inspire, the women we support, and the values we choose to uphold. Throughout my journey as a lawyer and advisor, I've realized that leadership is not about power or position. It's about influence, purpose, and example. And I have seen time and time again how powerful a woman becomes the moment she stops asking for permission and starts leading from her truth. For too long, leadership has been defined in one way: rational, competitive, hierarchical. But we, women, bring something profoundly different: the energy of intuition, of connection, of collaboration, and of emotional courage. To lead for me is to have the courage to be authentic in a world that still tries to fit us into molds. It's to speak truth even when your voice trembles. It's to stand by your values, your core values, like Nancy said, even when the road is slower. And it's to use the knowledge and influence we have to open doors and for others. Every day in my work as a consultant and mentor, I see humans transform when they realize that leadership does not require permission, only presence, awareness, and a choice. That transformation is what Future She Leads is all about. Autonomy, awareness, and mostly legacy. The future I envision is one where girls grow up knowing they can be however they choose to be, unafraid to lead, to make mistakes, or to take up space. A future where organizations value sensitivity as much as strategy, and where female voices shape decisions not as tokens but as forces of a transformation. But that future will not build itself. It will be built by us through our words, our choices, our voices, and our courage to inspire those who come after us. Which of us carries a responsibility to be a reference, not a perfection, but of truth. To lead with empathy, with strength, and with a purpose. I truly believe the future belongs to humans who unite, who lift each other up, and who transform, challenge, and change. And there is nothing more powerful than a woman who knows herself, respects herself, and dares to dream big. Future She Leads, it's not just a theme, it's a movement. A reflection of every woman who had the courage to rewrite the story of her life. And an invitation for every girl, everywhere, to believe that she too can lead. In her own way, with her own voice, and with her own earth. Because the future is not waiting to be led, it's waiting to be awakened. And it will be awakened by us with our strength, our wisdom, and our courage. The future is feminine, but more than that, the future is what we choose to make of it. And we choose to make it luminous. The future begins the movement she believes. Many thank you to be here today with all these powerful women. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Anna is very, very passionate about dignity and about justice and about equality. And so I'm really proud that Anna has chosen to walk alongside the same path as me. Thank you, Anna. Okay, now I know that Tio is in a panic mode because she has to leave. So I'm going to call Tio Akinola straight away next. She's the founder of the Diaspora Solidarity Group and Human Rights Chairman. So Tio is a human rights leader who advocates for equality and justice and solidarity across communities. Her work through the Diaspora Solidarity Group uplifts women's voices worldwide. Thank you for all that you do, Teodora. So please, Teodora, the floor is yours.
Hello, and thank you so much for understanding. Sadly, I got caught before an appointment to an MRI, but it's such a joy and an honor to be here today. And I'm happy to be surrounded by so many bright minds and brave hearts and unstoppable spirits. I heard all, and I'll be listening to the rest of speakers. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing. And today is the International Day of the Girl, and this year's theme, Future She Leads, is not just a title. Future She Leads is a declaration. It's a reminder that the future is not something we wait for, it's something that we build, and together. And I want to start with the truth. The future is already being built by girls, because I'm sure you know that there are many 12 years old coding in their bedroom at night. Maybe it's a refugee girl in a new country learning a new language while dreaming of becoming an engineer or a surgeon. By a young woman organizing her community to plant trees, to clean rivers, to fight for justice online. These girls are not waiting to be invited in the future. They are creating it right now. And I spread my speech in 6 parts, and I'll pass very slow because I want to show you how the road was with me. So, part number one, where it all began. When I started my journey in technology and social change, I didn't see many people who looked at me in those spaces. Like, I was often the only woman in the room. I was the youngest one, sometimes the one asking uncomfortable questions. I heard a lot people telling me that I am too ambitious or I should slow down. And to be honest, what they really meant was stay in your lane. And I realized something important, that the world doesn't change when we stay in our lane. It changes when we build new roads. So that belief became the foundation of everything that I do, from mentoring through Technovation, all the girls, to leading projects and to building solidarity through diaspora. I've worked with girls from all over the world, especially Romania, India, Nigeria, Spain, Sudan, and Philippines. And there are so many languages and different realities, but in the same time, we have the same spark that we can see in their eyes when they realize I can do this, I can build something that matters. Now, part number two, the power of opportunity. I mentored once, I remember, a girl of 15 years old from a small village who told me she never even imagined she could be in technology because that's something for the boys in the big city. And 3 months later, after she passed her final exam, she had an idea in which she developed an app that helped local farmers to track weather patterns to protect the crops. And this is what is giving the girls really a chance. They just don't take opportunities, they transform them. And the hard truth is that not every girl gets this chance. I mean, right now, as we speak, 129 million girls all over the world are out of school, like global. Many are denied education not because they lack ability, but because they are girls. And the reality is that, yes, girls are really facing discrimination, early marriage, violence, and in some countries, restriction on what they can learn or who they can become. And even in places where they go to school and maybe sometimes they are pushed away from science, technology, and leadership roles because of the stereotypes, like girls are not good at math, girls should stay in literature, girls don't belong in tech, girls shouldn't speak too loud. But we know better, don't we? And we know that girls are educated, communities grow stronger. And when girls are included in STEAM, and I heard before, but I like more to use the term STEAM, in which we include also art amongst mathematics, technology, science. I feel that innovation becomes and also transforms in a humanity spread. And when the girls lead, the world is changing. Now, part number three, intersectionality, as every girl. As we celebrate the achievement of girls today, we must also recognize that not all the girls start from the same place. A girl from a refugee camp does not face the same challenges as a girl from a big city. A girl with a disability or from an ethnic minority might have to overcome barriers that others never see or cannot even imagine because they are not being put in the same situation. And that's something I always say. Equality is not about treating everyone the same. It's about giving everyone what they need to thrive. And at the Diaspora Solidarity Group, we work with many women displaced by the conflicts, by many natural causes, helping them to find education, stability, and hope. And number four, the role of voice and representation. I wanted to tell you that I feel that representation is not just about visibility, it's the real power. And what we are doing now and what are you guys organizing that maybe allows young girls to see other women coding, building robots, talking about their experiences, leading in parliament, in NGO, hosting a podcast about, I don't know, any topic, successful woman. They just don't see success. They see possibility. They see, okay, someone is doing it, maybe from my city, maybe from my village, maybe I can do also. Because girls can be what they can see. And the more we highlight these stories, the more we dismantle the myth that leadership looks a certain way. And part number five, from awareness to action. So what we can do, all of us here today, to make sure the future truly belongs to the girls? First, what I would really encourage all of you to do, mentor at least one girl. You don't need to be an expert, just be the person that says, I believe in you. Sometimes you just need a bit of trust. Then, create a safe space. No matter where you work or where you have the chance to be, online, in school, in a workplace, where girls can speak up without fear. Sometimes this is needed. Challenge stereotypes. Like every time you hear "that's not for girls," you respond, "watch her," or "we will see." Number 4, support policies that prioritize girls' education and digital inclusion. Advocacy matters, your voice can influence decision makers. And 5, and last one, include girls in conversation about technology and climate because they are not only the leaders of tomorrow, they are co-designers of today as well. And as a promise for future, empower girls grow into empowered women who change systems. So to every girl and every woman that is listening today, whether you're in this room, online, or somewhere across the world, maybe you'll see it later, I want you to remember this. You're not too young, you're not too emotional, and you're not too ambitious. You are exactly enough and exactly where you need to lead. And when the world tells you no, let that be the beginning of your yes. And the future she leads is not just a slogan, it's a movement. And I really feel it's a movement where technology serves humanity, where innovation includes empathy, and where leadership wears kindness as its crown. A future where a girl learning to code, let's say maybe in Lagos, the girl planting tree in Bucharest, the girl rebuilding her life in Kiev, all know they belong in the story of progress. Because when one girl rises, we are all rising. And when one girl breaks a barrier, she opens a door for 1,000 more. So today, let's just not celebrate only girls. Let's commit to building with them, listening to them, and learning from them. Because the future isn't female, it's equitable, inclusive, and unstoppable. And yes, the future she leads starts now. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Tio. Now, the running theme is that the future starts now. We should have to see how we can impact and how we can bring up girls by mentoring them and showing them the way. This is very, very important. And the future is equity. Okay, thank you very much, Teodora. My next voice is Pernilla Coriza, who has patiently been sitting there waiting as I change the whole order of everything, okay? And I thank you so much, because I've kind of pushed you along, but you are worth waiting for, my lady, worth waiting for. So Pernilla Coriza is a global leadership strategist and an advocate for women in executive spaces. So with decades of experience in coaching leaders across sectors, she brings her Scandinavian clarity to the world we're living in today. And her global perspective empowers women to lead with vision and authenticity. And that's what we need. More women doing this and inspiring others who are coming along on the same road. So thank you, Pernilla, for all you do. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Linda. And I'm just going to tell you all that when I met Linda in London, I think it was like 1.5 years ago or something like that, the first time. You know, when you meet Linda for the first time, it's like time stops. It's like the world stops. And I just went to her after at the dinner and I pushed myself down beside her on the sofa. And I said, Linda, I need you in my life. Do you remember?
Yes.
Because that's what you do. So I'm so grateful. Hello, everyone here, all your beautiful ladies and men here in the room, and all of you who are listening. It's such an honor to be here with you today, to be among so many brilliant voices and powerful hearts, to speak about something I deeply believe in, the transformational power of women. We often say that when you educate a girl, you educate a nation, but we actually need to take that one step further, because when you educate and empower a woman, you change the direction of entire communities, entire economies, and generations. Because women are not just participants in progress, we are the catalysts for it. All around the world, in every culture, in every country, women carry stories of resilience, stories of wisdom, and leadership that often go unheard. And we know how to build from the ground up. We know how to hold complexity, to care and to create, to lead with strength and compassion at the same time. And here's what we know. The world cannot afford to keep underestimating and overlooking or excluding the power of women. Because when women are given access to education, when they are trusted with resources, when they are invited into decision-making spaces, something remarkable happens. Solutions become more sustainable. Leadership becomes more human, and the future becomes more just. I come from a context where I've seen this with my own eyes, whether working with young women in communities, collaborating across sectors, or mentoring future leaders. I have witnessed how investing in women changes everything. We live in a world facing enormous challenges, from climate crisis to inequality, from conflict to disconnection. But imagine this. What if half of the world's population, women, were no longer held back by fear, by violence, or by lack of opportunity? What if girls everywhere grew up knowing not only that they mattered because, well, we know how much they matter, but they are actually needed, and that's urgently needed. We are not talking about charity. We are talking about strategy, about smart, sustainable, and inclusive development, about justice, about peace, and about healing. Because the future will not thrive on competition and domination. It will thrive on collaboration, empathy, and, as Theodora said, on equity. And these are qualities that rise when women lead. So my message today is simple. When we unlock the power of women, we unlock the full potential of humanity. Let us build a world where no girl doubts her worth, where no woman has to ask for permission to lead. Let us no longer ask if women should lead, but how we can remove everything that still stands in their way. So today I say thank you. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for seeing the power in her and for helping to build a world where that power is free to rise. Because when women rise, the world heals. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Pernilla. Absolutely. I have always been one with the thought that if there's no seat at the table, bring your own. And if you don't like the table, build your own table. Okay? Just build it and sit at it and take presidency. So I'm going to now pass the floor. We have two more speakers, and before we move into the awards, which I probably means I'll pass back to my darling Virginia, who has been patiently letting me lead the conversation. So I'm going to call on Martina Reyes from Puerto Rico. So Martina is an international artist and a best-selling author and all-around impactful lady. So Martina combines art, writing, and neuroscience to transform perspective. She's scary. Science and art. That's a powerful combination. Her mind-hacking philosophy and creative work remind women to reimagine their inner potential and create lives of meaning and freedom, which is what we should all be aspiring to. So Martina, the floor is yours. She was right here. Where did she go?
I am right here. Can you see me?
Oh, sorry. I was not seeing you on my screen. Sorry, Martina. I love the hair decoration.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, this is my little girl, inner girl, she's always outside with me with my flowers. Thank you, my dear Virginia and Linda, for this amazing event. This is my second year with you celebrating the International Girls' Day, and for me, it's an honor and a pleasure. And when Virginia wrote me and invited me, she kind of kept me thinking about how did I came up doing what I do right now in a world that it was only for men, like science. And I just travel around my own life, and I saw myself when I was a little girl. And I remember as a little girl sitting quietly, just watching my dad sing, and his voice and the words of the songs. Oh my God, he just didn't sing. He was creating something that you can feel in the air. And I remember thinking, I was around maybe 6 years old. And I remember thinking, what is this magic? What is happening? Because I can see in everybody's face how they transform themselves, like in joyful happiness. Some of them were just looking each other in their eyes. And my father was a romantic. He played guitar and sang in Spanish, so you can just imagine that. And it was mesmerizing for me. And at that moment, I truly believe I felt in love with words. And it became my obsession since I was 6 years old. At the moment, I really didn't understand why I was like so obsessed with words, but I really saw what they can do in people, how they can transform people. And when he sang, no matter what people were doing around, they just stopped what they were doing and just sat and hear him singing. So in that moment, I really didn't have the language to put it in my words exactly what it was that I was feeling, but I knew something very powerful was happening. And then when I realized that I fell in love with words, my whole life changed right there in that moment. I realized that those words gave this little girl the opportunity to understand why she was in this world. I think that's in the moment I found my mission. I was around 6 years old, and I was determined to understand the power of that amazing weapon that human being has. It's our words. So I started creating different patterns with words when I was like maybe 7 or 8 years old. And those words actually gave me a map. They gave me a purpose. And what some people say today, there are my, don't say it out loud, superpowers. My words are my superpowers. Because later on, I learned something more amazing. And it's that words can change your brain. It can change the way you feel. It can change the way you decide. It can change the way you live if you decided to hear your voice, to hear your words. And for me, that was something that it was such amazing thing to understand at such a young age. And I kept learning and reading and writing, and one day I figured it out. It had a name. It's called in neuroscience, it was like neurocommunication, how your brain reacts to the words. When somebody says, I believe in you, your brain releases motivation. When you feel safe, you releases confidence and connections. And when you feel proud of yourself and proud of others, it releases joy. Just imagine words, 3 powerful releases in your brain, in your life to help others, motivate others, give them confidence and connection, and make them feel joy with their words. So yes, words change our brain, but also they could change our life. And here's something that I learned as an autistic, and Asperger, neurodiverse as myself, and as an educator, but more as a woman. Girl, they don't just remember what you said to them. They remember what we make them feel with our words. If they grow up hearing love, they will learn freedom. So that is the power of the words. Your voice inside our head is actually that echo of other words, other voices that we heard when we were little kids. Everything surrounding us, everything that we heard, that we saw, that we felt, that contributed to our world. But the beauty of it is that that echo doesn't have to be your echo. This is the beauty of the words. That echo can be rewrite. You can transform your echo. You can choose new words. You can choose new belief. And you can choose a new energy every time you speak. Because you know what? Before somebody hears your voice, your words, you are hearing your voice. And you are hearing your words. And that's the little girl, inner girl that is talking to you. She's talking to you with the words of fear, or she's rewriting her story for herself with words of freedom, words of power and love. Because for me, leadership doesn't begin with a title, a position, with Emmys or any other prize. I think it begins with a conversation, especially the one we have with ourselves. So, you know what? I kept this little girl always having great conversation with herself. That type of conversation that made me believe that words can heal the world, can heal humanity. That little girl still whispers to me every time I'm speaking to a group or I'm having a conversation. She's always whispering me, remember, your words, one word can transform the life of that person that's hearing you. So choose them wisely. Choose your words wisely, as you really meant it from the heart and from your mind. And for me, that is what leadership is. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be powerful. You have to learn how to choose your words, because everybody around you is hearing you, but especially yourself. You have to be real. Using our voice, we can actually bring peace, love, and we can inspire others. Because at the end, I'm a big girl now, but still a little girl inside me knows that growing up doesn't mean to leave my little girl behind. It means helping her dreams, but this time with wisdom. So today, in this International Day of the Girl, I celebrate every girl that is learning how to use her voice, and especially that woman that is learning how to use and how to hear her little girl again. Sometimes we stop hearing her, and that little girl has more wisdom that all of us join together. So today, the future doesn't lead today, and it doesn't start tomorrow. It starts today. With one voice, one word, with an act of love, we can transform people. And as I said, you don't have to have a big position. You don't have to be recognized to use your voice to empower, to inspire, and motivate others. Because when girls learn how to use their voice, they act with love and wisdom. And when she learned how to use her words, she just don't change her story. Honestly, I truly believe that she changed the story of the whole world. I will inspire you all today to always, always choose wisely the words you put into the world, because it can transform one person, and one person, it's enough. It's an honor and a pleasure being in front of all you girls, amazing girls, and I'm always here. And if you need for me, just ask Virginia. Peace and love.
Thank you so much. Peace and love. Thank you so much. Wisdom from a lady who knows. Thank you so much. Now, I'm going to have call one more voice, and then after that, I'm going to call on Oliver to then lead us into the She Leads Awards. Okay, so our last voice for this section, in fact, is Maha Shadeh. Maha is from Lebanon, and she's a core team member of the International Internship University. So she's kind of like a bridge between culture and generations. So her work through the university and her advocacy for education highlights truly that her belief that learning is the path to lasting peace and progress and equity. So we're very happy to have Maha with us. So Maha, the floor is yours, my dear.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Thank you. Just arriving home. I was following just from my car. So arriving on time. Actually, I would like to thank you all for your amazing speech, for your inspiring speech, actually, for today. Let me just share my screen before I'm going to start. I think, yes. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
It's loading.
Yes.
That's great. So just arriving on time, because I have misconception. Usually we have it 7 AST, so today it was 6. I did a mistake. Actually, I would like just to start. Distinguished speaker, respected leader, change makers, and above all, the inspiring, brilliant young women we have it here today. It's a great honor to stand before you today at this incredible, actually, Girls Women's, where we gather not just to talk about the future, but to shape it. And the truth is that future begins with 3 powerful letters, S, H, and E. Because when you empower her, you empower actually humanity. She, when we speak about the power of she is not just a pronoun. She is the strength, actually. She is the heart. And she is evolution. Every time you invest in a girl, you are actually investing in progress. When a girl is educated, actually, the cycle of poverty breaks. When a girl is heard, communities become just. When a girl leads, actually, all the nations transform. Empowering her, actually, when we are going to empower her, is not just the right thing to do it. It is the smartest things humanity can do. And if we want to speak about what truly stands behind a successful woman, we are not supposed just to wait for others, because we are supposed to do. To every girl and to every woman listening today, your voice actually is not too small. Your dreams are not too much, and your story is not insignificant. Behind every successful woman actually is you, yourself, and just you, your self-belief, your hard work, your entire drive. If you believe in yourself, so you're going to make the whole world believe in you. You are the author actually of your own destiny, and you are not alone. Look around, for example, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Look around, this is a movement, this is a sisterhood, this is a revolution actually fueled by compassion, by courage and purpose. Let the world actually hear this loud and clear. The future is not female, the future is equal, and she is leading it. So let us just let us lift each other. Let us speak like into every girl who doubts her worth. Let us remind her every single day that she wasn't born to shrink, she was born to rise. Every success story is women with a struggle, with sacrifice and relentless hard work. And here's the truth, hard work always wins. So do your best in order to create the best version of yourself every day. We need to empower her, and you empower humanity, because when we empower her, we empower humanity. Because when she rises, actually, when she rises, we all rise. To every young girl with a dream, I would like to say today and every day, your voice matters, your dreams are valid, and your power actually is real. To every woman fighting silent battles, you're not alone. strength run through our veins. Actually, you are more powerful than you know. To every woman who has been told she's too much or not enough, you are exactly who you were meant to be. Dare to dream. Usually, I just would like to end up with usually dare to dream. The most difficult thing is the decision to act. The rest is actually miracle. Let us your face shine. The power of she is real and it's unstoppable. Let us celebrate the strength to rise, the hope to dream, and the empowerment to succeed. Thank you for your all amazing and inspiring message today, and thank you for giving me the chance to be with you today.
Thank you, Maha. Thank you.
Thank you,
If you can
Maha.
stop sharing the screen now. Well done. Okay, now, last but never least, the voice of the man in the room. So we're going to pass to the man in the room, okay, who is joining us on this challenge for equity. So I'm going to give the floor now to Dr. Oliver Rambaya, who looks about 10, but he's not, okay? He is the advisory board member at MAHILA UDHYAMI. He's from Botswana, one of the 2 favorite countries for me in Africa that you must visit because you come back with another soul. If you go to Botswana, you grow a soul. Botswana and Namibia are must-visit countries. Dr. Oliver is a visionary educator and a community leader in Botswana. He's a dedicated member of the MAHILA UDHYAMI Advisory Board. He champions inclusive education, sustainable leadership, and youth empowerment throughout Africa. Now, we must always remember that half of the world is women. The other half are our sons, okay? So it's about giving voice to the girls and educating the boys, and teaching the boys. And Oliver, thank you so much for being on this side of justice and equity. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, my leader. Greetings to Advocate Piyush, Dr. Virginia Rivera, all global leaders from all over the world, and particularly greetings to one of our special young leaders, who is a young girl from Botswana. Her name is Anita Motshehwe. She's also part of our meeting today, who I will wish for her to present and give us her speech on women empowerment in the world. All of you leaders today, I thank you all for your presence here, as it means a lot. You all drive gender equality forward. My name is Oliver Junior Ramajwa. I'm from Botswana. I'm a honorable councillor here in Botswana, a public servant in Botswana, a government public servant here in Botswana. In the face of immense obstacles, you all strive to make our societies more just and more fair and more representative, and as a result, more resilient and more prosperous for everyone. So that is why I salute you all here, and I thank you for being here today. We gather as the world marks 30 years since countries convened in Beijing, reaffirming women's rights as human rights. And I'm glad that we too here, we are moving in the right track of Beijing, and I will quote today: equality, development, and peace for all women everywhere. We always knew and we know that women empowerment would never happen overnight or even over years. But meeting you all here today, discussing about the right of women and girls and gender equality, that promise feels more closer than we might ever have imagined. Women's rights are under siege. The poison of patriarchy is back, and it is back within Avengers, slamming the bricks on action, tearing up progress and mutating into new and dangerous forms. But there is an antidote. That antidote is action. Now is the time for those of us who care about equality of women and girls to stand up and to speak out. Now is the time for the world to accelerate progress and deliver on the promise of Beijing. In the past 30 years, the world has moved forward. in boosting girls' education, cutting maternal mortality, increasing legal protections, and many more. But immense gaps still persist. Age-old horrors like violence, discrimination, and economic inequality are rising. The gender pay gap still stands at 20%, and globally, almost 1 in 3 women have been subject to violence. And horrific sexual violence in conflict is happening from Haiti to Sudan. And in many countries, women and girls are still denied the most basic of rights: the right not to be raped by their peers, the right to own property or convey citizenship on an equal footing with men, or to access credit without your husband's permission. And around the world, hard-won gains are being thrown into reverse. Reproductive rights are under attack and equality initiatives discarded. In Afghanistan, women and girls have been stripped of their most basic rights, forbidden even from raising their voices in public. Meanwhile, new technologies including artificial intelligence are creating the conditions to allow new platforms for violence and abuse, normalizing misogyny and online revenge. As we all know, the Pact of the Future commits to integrate women in all aspects of conflict prevention and building and sustaining peace. This must be honored. Finally, we need action to ensure women's full, equal, and meaningful participation and leadership in decision-making at every level and all walks of life. We need women leading in government and policy-making, a tried and tested means of improving health, education, and childcare, and tackling violence against women and girls. And we all need women in leading business. For us to be stronger on women empowerment issues, we need to have continued to be united today, and we need to have more representatives all over the world to continue saving. In Botswana, personally, I am determined to do even more to deliver for the world's women and girls in Botswana and all over the world, in partnership with MAHILA UDHYAMI, in partnership with Dr. Virginia Rivera. There is overwhelming evidence that investing in women is the most effective way to lift communities, companies, and countries. Women's participation makes peace agreements stronger, societies more resilient, and economies more vigorous. And that is why the empowerment of women and girls is the heart of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Gender equality is the unfinished business of our time, and so the time is now to change it through MAHILA UDHYAMI, through all of us here in this platform. I thank you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And that's kind of a great segue, Olive, as you are there, straight into the awards. She leads awards. So maybe you can talk about your candidate and the lady that you recommended, straight into the awards. So I'm going to pass over to you again, so you can tell us about Anita.
Oh, Anita Motsekwe, those are her full names, is a young girl here in Botswana who I'm particularly grooming through MAHILA UDHYAMI. She's a full member of MAHILA UDHYAMI Botswana, which we established a month after I arrived from India, when I was empowered and inspired by Dr. Virginia Rivera to continue pushing agendas and efforts to empower women and girls all over the world. So she's one of the girls here in my country, Botswana, the young girls who believe in MAHILA UDHYAMI missions, who believe in MAHILA UDHYAMI visions and dreams. So she got interested in being part of today's conference about women and girls empowerment, and she wanted to share a little bit of piece of a speech of what she thinks about women empowerment or what she believes about women empowerment. So I think her speech will just take about 5 minutes or less. Over to you, Miss Anita Motsekwe.
Thank you so much. Let me take this opportunity to greet you all leaders present today to respect gender equality all over the world. My name is Anita Motsekwe from Botswana. I am a member of MAHILA UDHYAMI Botswana, which is led by Dr. Oliver Junara Madra in Botswana. a visionary leader and a powerful leader who inspires us so much in Botswana, who inspires women and girls, youth, and everyone in Botswana. He is our pillar of hope in Botswana, and we appreciate his work in Botswana. And I really appreciate the opportunity he gave me today to be part of today's conference to discuss about the issues of women and girls. I am delighted to be with you to celebrate the activism and transformative power of women and girls. We are a pivotal moment for women's rights. For decades, women have been calling for the equality that is their right, and today they are shaking the pillars of patriarchy. They are telling their stories and provoking important and necessary conversation. Everywhere, women are saying the time is now, time for equality and opportunity, respect and equal representation, time for an end to violence. Around the world, women and girls are calling out the abusive behavior and discriminatory attitudes they face everywhere and all the time. They are insisting on lasting change. This is what women and girls want, and that is what I want, and it is what every sensible man and boy should want. First, because gender equality is a fundamental human right, but also because there is no better path to a more peaceful and prosperous world than the empowerment of girls and women. Power is at the heart of the matter, and we still live in a male-dominated world with a male-dominated culture. And until power is fairly shared, the world will remain out of balance. Gender inequality, discrimination, and violence against women harm us all. I personally believe when the doors of equal opportunity are open for women and girls, everyone wins. Equal societies are more prosperous and peaceful and the foundation of sustainable development. We recognize 30 years of progress and achievement since the landmark United Nations conference in Beijing.
It's so amazing to hear young women already with this determination and this sense of self-worth. Congratulations, Anita. You will be, I am sure, a great inspiration to other women of your age and to women across the globe. Keep this positive attitude and grow into it, because it is what we need to create the better world that we all aspire to. You are an inspiration. Thank you, Anita.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You are most welcome. And I'm going to pass the floor to our Honorable Virginia Rivera for the next word.
I just wanted to congratulate Anita and Dr. Oliver. Dr. Oliver was with us in India last April, and he committed that he was going to bring MAHILA UDHYAMI to Botswana, because MAHILA UDHYAMI truly is a way for all of us to empower rural women, transform lives, but most importantly, make sure that financial autonomy is at the center of everything. So he said, I want to do this. And I love the fact that in his group and his Mahilas, they're all different ages. And the fact that we have somebody as young as Anita. The Future She Leads Award honors girls who show extraordinary courage, leadership, and compassion. Those who remind us that age is never a limit when purpose is strong and the heart is full of light. We have to recognize that many of these young women only need the opportunity to lead. They have the strength, they have the commitment, they have the intelligence, they have everything it takes to be a leader. What they really need is the opportunity. So let's continue to look at girls like Anita, who represents everything we believe in MAHILA UDHYAMI and Future She Leads. The belief that education, confidence, and kindness can transform not just one life, but entire communities. So congratulations, Anita. I am very, very proud of you. Congratulations, Dr. Oliver, for the amazing work that you're doing. And I want to also congratulate two other young women that were not able to be with us today. They may make it later, but we may be gone by then. And that is Anila Bukhari from Pakistan. She is a girls' education activist, and she is an author. We also would love to congratulate on this award Gafra Brumley. She's from Ghana. And this young woman I met because she wanted to go to college. And there were no possibilities for her financially, but she made it happen. She reached out to people all over the world to make it happen with her. She did not accept no. She believed every single moment that it was a yes. So these three young women really represent what we think of when we created Future She Leads. So now I think we have our last participant, our last speaker. I will let you, Linda, go ahead and introduce.
Thank you, Virginia. So before we close, our last voice of the day, but of course not the least, and then I will pass back to Virginia to do a closing of our event. And so I would like to introduce Dr. Srividhya Sukumar from India. I think it's a little bit she must be very sleepy, perhaps this time. She's a leading educator and a mentor. She's guided countless students, and we need that desperately. We need inspirational educators. She's guided them towards academic and professional success. Her dedication to nurturing potential exemplifies the foundation of the Future She Leads a mentorship and showing the way, because what we need really is women who show the way and who hold their hand as they enter the world. So thank you for all you do, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, IIU, for giving this wonderful opportunity. And definitely the first thanks goes to Dr. Virginia, who is a very good friend of mine, and the beautiful host for today, Ms. Linda Pereira. You're doing a great job there, really. And many thanks to all the speakers who have joined us on this dais, the virtual dais rather. And I think our special guest is definitely Dr. Oliver, who is here, the real representation of gender equality, that is SDG 5. So good. So a big congratulations to each one of us who have shared this on this platform, and definitely my sincere thanks to Anita. At the small age of yours, you have really taken the courage to be amidst us. Really, hats off to you guys. Well, when we talk about women liberation or women empowerment, it's like there's a quote which I would really take it forward. Like, educating a woman is more like educating a nation, thereby you're educating the whole generation. So we are contributing towards the community in a large scale, in a much larger scale, whether it is the role of a woman, the family, in child rearing, or bringing up the kids, or taking care of them, the entire community, thereby they're reflecting it in the entire community and the nation to which they belong to. Not only just contributing to it, adding more credits to it, more laurels to it, and also making their presence being felt by the community and also being across the globe. So that's the power of women education, which we are honoring here today. And well, MAHILA UDHYAMI, the very name sounds it more synonymous, or it really highlights the purpose of us being here on International Day of the Girl. MAHILA means women. UDHYAMI means one who is entrepreneur and who is actually bringing it the change. Means one who is really highlighting the change. In the sense, one who is very industrious in bringing up the change. Being a very ambitious person, or a clever person, or energetic person, or enterprising person, fierce, or taking the captainship, being in the lead. That's what the whole word, the really word of MAHILA UDHYAMI means. And today, being in the congregation of all these eminent personalities across the globe in different time zones, taking out the time and joining us on this virtual dais to contribute on this particular aspect of being a woman, celebrating womanhood, is what is so auspicious. Definitely not forgetting the go word there, being in gratitude. That we are being in gratitude and being thankful to them in acknowledging the services, such that the other followers, who are there, like Anita, they get motivated and they contribute more and more to say that, to more add value to this one particular event that we have gathered in for. Well, going ahead to talk about women liberation, the future she leads. As we all know, the future belongs to those who are going to dream about it today. And the very word says that I don't believe in my dreams, I believe in my words. That's what many people spoke about. I believe in my deeds. That's what many people have shared with us today. And I believe in my virtual presence, in my very presence in the society. That's what the future that she leads is all about. Well, different initiatives that we can talk about is promoting digital literacy, or being it fostering on inclusive education or the leadership that we talk about. These are the targets which are set for Gender 5 of women empowerment or the gender equality by UNESCO. That's why I'm just taking a few bits and pieces from there. Encouraging STEM education for women, building supportive networks or working in collaboration, making them entrepreneurs, advocating policy change, some or leading the program. These all things can be the contributions that we can take as examples or instances from worldwide. But there are certain things which has to be really taken to the lead, which I'm being a part of, which I proudly would like to share, and I'm willing for people to join me in these programs and start working with me. That She Leads program is a leadership development program, definitely. From that, it's like for women, focusing on building confidence, networking, and skill development. And She Leads African Summit is a platform for young girls and women to strengthen leadership and share achievements and advance gender equality. She Leads AI is an initiative empowering women to lead an artificial intelligence, promoting diversity and inclusion of being technical advancement. So these efforts definitely continue to innovate future She Leads and plays a very significant role in shaping a more equitable and empowered women. As we all know that good governance is nothing but more or less is about creating happiness. And when we talk about women, when we talk about girls, the very thought brings a smile on people's face. I'm sure everybody will agree with me. So in that case, like when we talk about women, she who brings the smile on others' face cannot keep it within herself. So she glows. When the very presence glows, the very presence enlightens the whole place. As we all agree, those who bring sunshine to others cannot keep it within themselves. So we are the one who are glowing from within, and we just transmit it. We transform the whole society by bringing the glow and the sunshine to the society with our contributions. So on that note, please allow me, because of very lack of time, and we have been so well, the program is so well coordinated, to be in time, I would like to conclude it by dedicating a beautiful video that the poem was written by me, but it was done by another media network of Dubai. I'm sorry, I'm participating in this program from UAE, that is Dubai. So I would like to dedicate it for all the beautiful ladies out there. With your permission, Dr. Virginia, and the host and the boss for today, Ms. Linda. Thank you so much. Please allow me to share my screen.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you so much. Yeah. Now, I am very proud to say that we are only running 6 minutes late. Isn't that amazing? We are wonderful women. We are a powerhouse. Okay.
I'm going to share the video with your permission. Thank you.
Okay.
I take this opportunity to greet all the beautiful women across the globe a happy Women's Day. And to glorify their womanhood, I dedicate this poem of mine, an ode to womanhood. Women are self-born, self-manifested, and self-existing. Because those who bring sunshine to others cannot keep it within themselves. As women, we inspire, we ignite, we inflict, and we innovate. To empower ourselves, to enlighten ourselves, to excel and evolve as we grow. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our fear is that we are powerful beyond our measure. I repeat it, as women, our fear is that we are very powerful beyond our measure. It is our light, the strength, not the darkness, that weakens us or frightens us. Often we believe or we doubt ourselves that, am I brilliant? Am I gifted? Am I talented? Am I fabulous? Am I optimistic? Please believe you can, and so you're halfway there. Who you aren't to be skillful? Who you aren't to be blessed? Prosperous? All playing small doesn't save the world. Rather, it seeks down the opportunities because we are all meant to shine. We are born to manifest the glory from within. It is not in just some of us, it is in every one of us. We need to just look into ourselves rather than looking at the outside world. The workshop from within emits whatever we ask for. It ignites the indomitable spirit and the positive energy that causes the transformation. It illuminates the light from within to carry the beam above and beyond. With the illumination of light from within, we become enlightened with knowledge. The art of inner engineering causes the transformation so that we get liberated from ourselves, our own fears, and our own doubts. And we develop faith, focus, and dedication in this process. And we start walking those extra miles of hardship with the belief there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. But the journey is not smooth always. The road to success is not straight. There is always a curve called failure and a loop called confusion. But if you have a spare called determination and an engine called perseverance, with the protected insurance called faith, driven by the driver called Almighty, we all will make it to the destiny, a place called success. Thus, the quintessence of the positive success formula derived and achieved by every one of us, every beautiful woman's soul on earth. But this success formula is infectious and it doesn't stop with one person or one woman. Because those who bring sunshine to others cannot keep it within themselves, because we inspire, we ignite, we inflict, and we innovate to enlighten, empower, exemplify, and evolve our society, and our success saga continues. So let's together celebrate this womanhood today as always. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Thanks for the great opportunity. Thank you, Virginia. Thank you, Ms. Linda Pereira. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, I have to pass you to our inspiration. So I'm going to pass you back to Virginia for the closing, and then I will terminate the session afterwards with a few words as well. So Virginia, the floor is yours, my dear.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Srividhya, for sharing the video, for your words. I want to thank every single one of the speakers here today. The event that we are closing right now has been beautiful. Like in everything in the world, there's always something that may be imperfect. So we will be seeing this video very soon. We'll be uploading, but we did not stop. We did not allow that to stop us. And this is exactly the spirit that we need in everything that we do. When we speak of empowerment, we often think of education, of opportunities, of becoming independent. But true empowerment begins with one simple act, and that is the act of building. Those that know me that I'm not very big in just blah, 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 or just speeches. I love leaders that really go to action, even if it's imperfect action. I am a definite fan of imperfect action. That spirit is what we have behind MAHILA UDHYAMI, which like Dr. Srividhya says, means woman entrepreneur, or women that start something wonderful, great. It is more than just a name. It is a movement that we know that will transform rural women into global leaders. Think of it. Rural women are 60% of the population. These are the numbers that are underneath, because not every single one has been registered. Not every single one has been accounted for. But if we think about the ones that have, we definitely know that so many of our women live in rural areas. And the important thing is that when we become and when we help transform rural women into global leaders, you turn dreams into enterprises, and to make every woman the architect of her own destiny. I want you to think about villages. Many, many times we think that because they're so remote, things will not arrive to them. They won't have access. But the truth is, people are bringing access to. We do this in MAHILA UDHYAMI. At the heart of this movement stands the MAHILA UDHYAMI Global Women's Empowerment and Business Hub. It's a 6,000 square foot center rising in the E-Village of Aluwamai, India, the world's first smart metro village. This hub is not just a building, it is a living symbol of transformation. It is a safe haven for women that have to flee from toxic environments. It's a place where women can become educated, where they can actually attain financial autonomy through entrepreneurship, and where empowerment is definitely met and mentored. We welcome women, and they will have access to entrepreneurship and skill training, innovation and business labs, tech and agri-innovation spaces, global mentorship through the Future She Leads program. Through this program that we're mentoring today, we are nurturing the next generation of educators, entrepreneurs, and community builders. This program ensures that every woman trained at MAHILA UDHYAMI not only gains skills, she gains a voice, a vision, and a platform to lead. Can you imagine a young woman in rural India joining a global online classroom mentored by women from Puerto Rico, Africa, or Europe? This is what I envision. This is what we are working on. Sharing stories, learning business fundamentals, and preparing to launch their very first enterprise. That is the world that we are all building. A world without borders for women's empowerment. Each brick that you help us lay represents one woman's journey from survival to success. Each wall that we raise, contrary to the United States where we built that wall to keep people out, this wall rises to represent the collective strength of women raising together. And each program, from MAHILA UDHYAMI to Future She Leads, represents the unstoppable spirit of transformation. It's just not empowerment, it's transformation. So I am here today to tell you that I am so excited that this February we will do the ribbon cutting on our 6,000 square foot flagship 99.9 sustainable building. Because when women are empowered, nothing stops them. I have to say, nothing can stop me. Nothing can stop Linda. Nothing can stop you, Srividhya. Nothing can stop you, Martina. You know, we are here today because we know that we can do it. When a woman is empowered, she lifts an entire village. When she leads, she changes generations. And when we stand together across continents, across cultures, the future she leads becomes the future we all desire. So thank you all for saying yes today. I know it was very early for some and very late for others. But let's keep building. Let's keep building brick by brick. Let's build her future. Let's build her legacy. Thank you so much, Linda, for being so brilliant today. This is such an important day for me because before we become women, we are girls. And like Martina said, we need to keep our inner girl alive. It's the one that's fearless. It's the one that believes. It's the one that's limitless. We need to touch base with her every single day. And I knew that you were the right person to care for this incredible event. So thank you again, Linda, for saying yes and for being by my side, because I have to say you are a blessing in my life and a blessing in the lives of all of us that know you. So thank you, every single one of you, for being here today. I'm very, very excited and very emotional because this is the beginning of everything. Thank you, Linda.
Yes, thank you, Virginia. Inspirational words. Now, it's important that we don't just talk, that we walk the talk. And remember, just between you and me, being in this forum means that we are talking to the converted. Everyone who is here is already converted.
That's right.
What we need to do is bring others with us, bring people who are not yet converted. Because when we talk to each other, we already believe it. We're already there. We're already doing it. Let's bring other people into our mission. Let's motivate others. Let's preach until they can't say no. You know, it's very, very important. So let's collect people to join our mission. Thank you all for the amazing people who are here. To all the others who were here and could not stay until the end, thank you for being so brilliant and making sure that we are not too late. And thank you all for being so inspirational. Bring us 500 people with you next time.
Yes.
Lots of love. Be great. Be brilliant. Thank you all.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Big love.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.